Welcome to Life Hacks Beyond Convention with Dee and Sonia.
Yeah, there was a bit of work because we had the IT changeover.
Oh, yeah.
So I
How do
had
you
to.
feel about that?
Well, it's actually really good. They've sent me a work laptop, which is a little beauty.
Mm.
Um, what I like about the work laptop is that it's a little beauty.
Mm.
What I don't like about it is though I don't want to do my personal stuff on a work computer. So now I've got to juggle two computers. So that's just slightly annoying.
Yeah. I'm kind
But
of doing the same for different reasons. Yeah.
yeah, but I think, well, they are still just laptops. So it's not like back in the day when it was, a big desktop case
Yeah.
that we needed to have two of those. And because I've sort of got the extra screen and a keypad,
Mm.
because the smaller laptops, I just prefer a proper full size keypad.
Ditto.
Um, yeah, and I also prefer a mouse. So
Mm.
I've got all of those. So I'm thinking that because it's just a laptop, it should be fairly easy to just plug it out of one and plug it into the next. But
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Should
so it
be.
won't be a problem.
I
But
had
I
trouble
just got to
this.
get used to it.
Yeah, I had trouble this morning because my keypad and my trackpad wouldn't connect back up with my old computer.
Right.
So I had to sort of shut the new one down before it would let it go. So
Yeah, okay.
the
Are
net
yours
is,
Bluetooth?
yeah.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
keyboard's got like options for four different items. So it should have been fine, but it just wouldn't play. And then I had the trouble with I couldn't watch a YouTube video, so I thought there was an issue. Yeah, and then of course it was the internet. But yeah. So I did have a
Mm,
little bit of trouble transitioning.
mm,
So I don't know whether
mm.
you'll find
Well,
that.
mine, no, because I'm not using Bluetooth. And the reason I'm not using Bluetooth is because I was finding that back in, like, I don't know, a couple of years ago, and it just gave me the,
Shits.
yeah, annoyed me a lot. So
Yep.
I,
You're polite. I'm not.
annoyed me so much. So
Yeah.
I just, so I went and dragged down my old corded
Keyboard.
keypad and mouse,
Mm.
and it look just has not had a glitch since. So
Yeah.
I thought, so yeah, for now. And even when I travel, I actually just take the corded one these days.
Yeah.
So the only Bluetooth I've got is I do have a little Bluetooth keypad for my iPad,
Mhm. Yeah.
a keyboard, I mean.
Yeah.
But yeah, but for my laptop, I've just gone corded. So hopefully I should not have any problems just plugging out of
Yeah. That'd be
uh,
fine with corded.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And it's because sometimes they do with the Bluetooth. Oh, well, that's like I've got this Bluetooth speaker. Now I use it for iPad, and I've got a couple of iPads, like an older one and a new one, as well as my phone. So depending what I want it to attach to, and it always attaches to the last thing that you use, which is so damn annoying. So if it's not the one that you happen to want to use, now you've got to go find the other device,
Yeah.
unconnect it.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
just,
Go through the settings. That's what I was
yeah,
doing. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So anyway, I know first world problems, but it really can be quite annoying.
Well, I think the thing is that we want to work fast and it holds us up. Like we have an idea in our head, we want to get this job done, and yeah. So with Apple, because they've got those little C things, they've got to have peripheral systems attached. But I could attach corded ones to those. So yeah. But the old one I'm using down in the lounge room at night, so I can still connect to everything mostly until today when I wanted to do something different. And then the internet. Mm,
Yeah,
hopefully they'll get
yeah.
it sorted soon.
Yeah, who's your
Mm.
carrier?
Um, it's not Starlink, it's somebody similar. Can't think of it. It's the S word. No, gone blank. Um,
Mm.
yeah. I just remember for 2 or 3 years they were sending us letters, the NBN were, or
Mm,
companies that did
mm,
NBN.
mm,
And each time I'd, ring up because we were on ADSL. And of course,
mm,
it's not good quality ADSL because it's out
mm,
of the country and we're,
mm, mm,
2 kilometers from the Telstra office and stuff. And all the wires are exposed
mm,
down the road and a whole heap of other country
mm,
issues. So they'd ring us up and we'd go through and they'd say, "Oh, you don't have it available."
mm,
And that would be the answer all the time. And then I got this bloke, and it wasn't Southern Cross, but it was similar. And I just said, "Look, we don't we don't get it.
mm,
They say it's not available." I said, "I've looked
mm.
up on NBN and everything else," and I said, "and I can see our tower because we've got fixed wireless. I
Yeah.
can see our tower from 9 windows."
Mm,
So he said, "Oh, that doesn't sound right." And I said, "Listen,
mm,
mate, if you can get it fixed, you get my business."
mm.
And what he did was he got me to send the GPS coordinates,
Ah, yeah,
found our house, and got it. So we signed with them, and
yeah,
it was
yeah.
probably $20, $30 cheaper for more access and faster and much more, much
Mm,
higher speed upload
mm,
speeds and
mm,
download speeds. So
mm.
yeah.
Yeah, I know the internet in Australia is a bit hodgepodge, isn't it? Because
Yes.
even here in Ballarat, when they first started rolling out the NBN, which is a lot of years ago now, like it was all NBN to the street, I think.
Yeah.
Did they call it to the
To the
node?
node. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, but then as time went by, obviously, and funds run out, it started to be, yeah, further away. And it depends where you live in Ballarat as to how good your internet is. So, actually, at the moment, because I'm in like the area that I'm in Ballarat, it's to the node.
Right.
So even on one of the lower speed plans, my speed goes to the full capacity of the plan without any problems at all.
Yeah.
Yet where I was before, oh man, we changed internet providers quite a few times thinking that it was the provider.
Mm.
But in the end, we ended up going with cable
Mm.
um, at our
Yeah.
last place because the MBM was just not.
Not performing.
No,
Yeah.
no.
And
No,
it's
and you think, and Ballarat's not regional. Oh well, I
no.
guess they class it as regional, but it's not. I mean, we've
Yeah.
got over 100,000 people here.
Yeah, that's not what we would call it. Yeah, small
No,
town in
I
Australia.
don't call that regional.
Mm. Where I've been surprised is friends of mine who are living in high rise in Gold Coast.
And is theirs bad or good?
Really bad.
Yeah,
Yeah. And I
yeah,
think the problem is that aside from you've got stacks of people,
yeah,
they don't seem to have the infrastructure and they're growing so fast.
yeah,
So,
yes,
yeah, often they have
yeah.
problems and it's wow.
Well, I know when I've talked to people from overseas or, you watch YouTube videos sometimes and it's always a comment, well, like the internet's not great in
Yeah,
comparison to what they're used to. Yeah.
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 And I can't remember which government it was. I think it was Liberal that sort of said, "Oh no, we don't need that standard of, you know, uh, yeah, of internet available or infrastructure." And I thought, "Oh God, this is bad."
Everybody I know that's got Starlink though, like, are happy with it. And when you have a
Oh
look at the
yeah,
price of that, I just think, that is quite affordable. It's not as cheap, obviously, as NBN.
yeah,
Um, Even the highest plans on the NBN are cheaper than Starlink, but
yeah.
it's still, I think it was about 180 a month or something.
Okay, the one I glanced at it because someone said, "Oh, you should get that," and it was 129. Well, I'm paying 90 for the
Oh,
plan
so the
I'm
one you
on.
saw was 129. Yeah, well, that's
Yeah,
good.
but that was
My
probably a
memory.
while ago.
Yeah, okay. Well, yeah, I haven't looked for a while and I might be remembering wrong, but I do remember at the time thinking that the Starlink was relatively affordable. And I just
Yeah.
think, God, I reckon, except that where I am, it was easy to connect. Like, and I'm only paying $79 a month.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
that's unlimited. The download speed, like the plan I'm on's only 25 megabits per second, but it's always at the 25. And I'm the only one in the house. Like,
Yeah.
I just don't need faster internet than that.
No, no.
Yeah. So I figure that, yeah, it works really well.
Yeah, I think if we were traveling, I would get that for sure. Yeah,
Yeah, well, that's what I think too. Or if I was in an area where uh, there just wasn't, you know,
yeah.
generally rely. I know you're having a glitch today, but
Mm.
generally your
Oh,
internet should.
generally it's brilliant.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So
Friends at Georgetown, so that's 10 k's away, so they certainly can't get NBN like this. They use the Starlink and they're absolutely wrapped. And they've got
yeah,
um, a, a son who's a gamer,
yeah,
and they're
yeah. Well,
both,
if I was gaming, I'd have to get a higher plan,
yes,
but I'm not. So yeah.
yeah.
Mm.
So,
Yeah. And if I had to start uploading videos to YouTube or stuff like that, I might have to re-look at it too, because
yeah.
um yeah, even recently with this whole tech changeover we had at work,
Mm.
um, I needed, because I had a whole lot of stuff on my personal computer that was on the local drive. So
Oh,
I
yeah.
needed to put that up into their OneDrive so that
Mm.
when I got my new computer, I'd be able to put it down onto the new computer and I wouldn't have
Yeah.
lost any of my work documents.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, that took a long time to upload. It was just like, it just kept up. I just
Yeah.
thought, oh, so I just walked away. It's
Yes.
like, yeah.
When I first got the new computer, I plugged it all in and stuff, and it said it needed an update straight away. And I went, oh, okay, well, I'll just set that going. And thinking, and the first figures that came up were 14 hours and so many minutes.
Yeah.
And I went, oh, um, I went down to Tony. I said, it might be done by the time I get up in the morning. And it did finish that evening. It went a lot quicker
Yeah.
than that, but it was just like, oh, we're not doing anything.
Exactly. Yeah, well, mine didn't take that long, but it wasn't that much data. It was about 35 or 45 gig, and that still took nearly an hour
Yeah.
for all of that to upload. Yeah, so,
Yeah.
but that's just because I'm on the lower speed
Yeah.
internet and I
Yeah.
don't normally upload that much data. It's just a little bit of data here and there.
Yeah.
So she's fine, yeah. Except I did wonder because ChatGPT's been glitching a little bit, and I thought, oh, I wonder whether that's the internet speed or whether that is the app itself,
Okay.
or
Doesn't matter.
whether it's the um, whatever their program thing is.
Yeah.
I thought
Yeah.
maybe I probably need to check that the app doesn't need updating, maybe.
Updating.
But
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, but I did wonder whether that was internet speed. So I
Yeah.
thought, oh, maybe I do need to go to the next plan. However, at Mum's place in South Australia, we never got more. Like Mum's on Telstra,
Yep.
NBN Telstra in
Yep.
theory, which isn't really NBN,
Yeah.
and it was frequently my upload speeds were only my download speeds were only 8 megabits per second all
Yeah.
the time.
Yeah. That's what we're up
Like,
against
and
previously.
the best that I saw it was about 12 or 13.
Yeah.
So, and I could do everything even there. So it just
Yeah.
depends what your needs are, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. I couldn't have done the video stuff previously. Not at all. It wouldn't.
Mm,
Yeah. So, yeah. So it sort of timed well for me, our change.
mm,
So, yeah.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
But people complain about Telstra and everything else, and I do too. And they say, oh, the whole of Australia, that they advertise that they'll have the whole of Australia um, hooked up before such and such. And I've got lots of friends that are really, really remote, and it's like, yeah, but their definition of whole is like 95%. Their definition of whole is not 100%. So, and I know when we've really traveled remote, sometimes you can't even get triple O. So you need to, like, mostly you can get triple O if you're close to one of their um, relay towers. But yeah, other places you need to be taking an EPIRB with you.
Yeah, well, when I was doing a bit of traveling, I always had two SIM cards. One was Telstra and one was Optus. And it
Mm.
was interesting because when I was at Ayers Rock, I only had Optus.
Mm.
Yeah, there was no Telstra at
There
all.
was no
But then
Telstra.
when
Okay.
not actually at Ayers Rock, No.
Okay.
Yeah. And also at Moonta Bay, there's one section of Moonta Bay where there was only Optus,
Okay.
which is interesting, but the rest was Telstra. But then there were other sections where I only had Telstra and didn't have Optus. So, yeah, I don't still have both SIM cards. But if I started traveling again, I'd just go and do the same thing, I think.
Yeah.
Make sure I had a Telstra SIM card. So at the moment, I'm just on Optus.
Yeah.
I'd go and grab a Telstra SIM as well. Yeah.
We're with Telstra, and I mean, we were with Telstra before we bought the agricultural business, but
Yep.
because of the agricultural business, we couldn't change providers. And there are still some of our clients who cannot get mobile coverage, and some of them who the landlines got wiped out. So there's people up in the hills in Flinders Ranges that have absolutely no coverage. So if they need an ambulance, they've got to CB radio a neighbour to get an ambulance. So it's, yeah, that's pretty.
Well, and since they stopped the 3G network, that's really minimised how many people can access emergency networks.
Yes.
Like, that was crazy. I just don't understand. I'm assuming it did end up going through.
I'm assuming
that they actually,
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they were telling people they needed to upgrade.
Yeah, and they did.
Yeah, the people most at risk are the elderly, and the people least likely to learn a new technology or even cope with a new telephone are the elderly. So
well, but what happened was when they didn't promise that you'd still be able to get 4G network. So some of the people that the only network they had access to was 3G now have nothing.
Oh, maybe that's part of the problem up north too.
Yeah, exactly.
See,
it's like, no, we don't promise that you'll be able to have the network. So I just think, why would you stop that network?
Yeah, cost.
Just did not make sense.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't. I know 10 years ago we only had Telstra in this town, and you'd see people that are coming in to visit in the main street going, trying to get coverage, and you just pull up to them and go, who are you with? And they'd go Vodafone or Optus at the time or anything. You won't get footage. You'll need to go up on the hills to get coverage. And then we got an Optus tower a kilometre behind us, and that improved for a lot of people. So, but see, when we were still working remote, we had to stick with Telstra.
Yeah, when I first left South Australia, it was probably 10 years before I transitioned to Optus, just because I was going back to South Australia so often.
Yes.
And you had to have Telstra network,
Yeah.
So, but over time, South Australia's Optus improved. However, you're right, there's still huge sections where it's only Telstra. Like when you dogleg in, from Balaclava down through Red Hill and some of those areas to do the back roads, Telstra is still often better.
Yeah. And even Telstra drops out if you're going through Hughes Gap. Sometimes you'll be lucky, but if it's a day with a bit of cloud coverage or something, it doesn't take much to knock it out. So you'll be on. So, yeah. And then there's lots of places that are north of us that, just drops out for long stretches. So
I've never used a Vodafone, so I don't know what the Vodafone network's like.
It's I think it might be attached to the Optus one. I'm not sure. I'm wrong about that. So
I thought Vodafone had their own network. Right.
I think my understanding is there's only two networks, Optus and Telstra, and then the others feed into that. Hit the subscribe button below if you want to follow Life Hacks Beyond Convention.